Maine are beautiful in September. The air is crisp, the sky a clear canvas of blue, and the forests alive with the sounds of birds and insects. For most, it's a picture of peace. But for one 90-year-old woman, an ordinary morning in 2019 turned into a nightmare of teeth, claws, and blood. Her name was Doretta Edwards, and she faced something few would ever imagine: an attack by a rabid raccoon. At her age, survival should have been impossible. But Doretta wasn't ready to die. With nothing but her bare hands, she fought back against the crazed animal, held it under until it drowned, and walked away alive. This is her story. Welcome back to Lore of the Multiverse, the channel where we dive into unbelievable survival tales, chilling history, and the resilience of the human spirit. If you're new here, hit subscribe, smash the like button, and ring the bell so you never miss another story that will leave you speechless. Tonight, we're stepping into rural Maine to relive the day a 90-year-old woman proved that courage has no age. Life in Maine. Maine is a small town, a place where neighbors know each other, where life is shaped by the forests and rivers that surround it. For most residents, encounters with wildlife are common. Deer wander into yards, foxes cross quiet roads, and raccoons, clever and opportunistic, skulk near trash bins at night. For Doretta, who had lived nearly a century in Maine, this was nothing new. She had seen it all. Or so she thought. At 90, her body was slower, her bones fragile, but her mind sharp. She took pride in maintaining her independence, tending her yard, and living life on her own terms. To her, the quiet of her property was comfort, not danger. That day in 2019, she stepped outside into the cool morning air, expecting another peaceful routine. But the forest had other plans. The raccoon appears from the edge of the tree line, a shape moved. At first glance, it was nothing unusual, a raccoon, one of many in the area. But something was wrong. Its movements were jerky, uneven. Its fur bristled, its eyes glassy, its mouth foaming. This wasn't a curious scavenger. It was rabid. Rabies is one of the most terrifying diseases in the animal world. It invades the nervous system, twisting the brain into a frenzy of violence. A rabid animal doesn't behave like normal wildlife. It becomes relentless, attacking until either it dies or its victim does. The raccoon staggered forward, then charged. The first impact was sudden and violent. The raccoon lunged straight at Doretta, its claws raking at her legs, its sharp teeth sinking deep into her flesh. Pain exploded through her body. She fell backward, stunned by the sheer ferocity of the animal. At 90 years old, even a small fall can be devastating, but now, with a predator clamped onto her, the danger was multiplied. Instinct took over. Doretta grabbed at the animal with her bare hands, trying to wrench it off. It snarled, snapping at her face, its claws tearing at her skin. Blood streaked down her arms, but she didn't let go. She forced it down, her hands gripping its scruff, fighting for control. Neighbors would later describe the struggle as almost surreal, a frail, elderly woman locked in battle with an animal half her size but burning with rabid fury. The raccoon thrashed violently, biting and clawing with unnatural strength, but Doretta refused to yield. The puddle of survival as they grappled, her eyes caught the glimmer of water nearby, a shallow puddle formed from rain. It wasn't much, but it was enough. With every ounce of strength, she dragged the raccoon toward it, forcing its head down into the muddy water. The animal fought wildly, its claws flailing, its teeth gnashing. Her arms burned with pain, her body screamed with exhaustion, but she held on. She pressed harder, her knuckles white, her breath ragged. Seconds stretched into eternity. The raccoon's thrashing slowed. Finally, it went limp. She had done it. She had drowned the beast. Aftermath and rescue. Doretta stood there trembling, her body covered in scratches and bite wounds, her hands torn and bleeding. Around her, the yard was silent again. The only evidence of the battle was the blood on her skin and the lifeless body of the raccoon at her feet. Paramedics later rushed her to the hospital. At her age, the wounds could easily have been fatal, not just from blood loss, but from infection, and most of all, from rabies. She endured rounds of rabies shots and antibiotics, each treatment grueling for her frail body. Yet through it all, she remained strong. Doctors called her survival astonishing. Family members said it was a miracle. But Doretta herself described it simply. "I wasn't going to let that animal kill me." The symbolism of survival, her story spread across the country, capturing headlines. People were stunned that at 90 years old, she not only survived the attack but fought back with such determination. Wildlife experts explained that drowning was, in fact, one of the few ways to neutralize such a frenzied predator. But the odds of a woman of her age being able to physically hold it down were almost unthinkable. Yet she had done it. Her survival became more than just a personal triumph. It became a story of resilience, a reminder that courage does not fade with age. That instinct and determination can outmatch fear, even when the body is frail. Legacy of the fight for her family, the story became part of their history, the day their 90-year-old matriarch battled a rabid raccoon and won. For the people of Maine, it was a tale that reminded them of both the dangers of the wilderness and the indomitable will of those who live close to it. And for the world, it was proof that survival isn't always about strength or size. Sometimes, it's about stubbornness. About grit. About the refusal to let go, even when every second feels like your last. And that is the story of the 90-year-old woman who fought a rabid raccoon with her bare hands. So now I'll ask you, if you were in Doretta's place, would you have had the resolve to keep fighting? Or would you have given in to the animal's fury? Let us know in the comments. If this story left you inspired or sent chills down your spine, don't forget to like, subscribe to Lore of the Multiverse, and ring the bell so you never miss another true survival tale. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and remember, sometimes the fiercest warriors are the ones the world least expects.